Hello and welcome to today's live stream. My name's Jaymie and I'm here in the Happy Fabric studio to show you how to make 3 super easy Halloween costumes. You won't need a cutting machine and you can do all of these at home by yourself in under 5 minutes. So, just to introduce us, Happy Fabric, if you don't already know us, specialise in heat transfer vinyl and heat presses like the ones you see behind me, which are Happy presses. We are all about colour and craft and fun. So today we're going to be using HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl or iron-on vinyl, to make the costumes. As with any of the HTVs on our website, you can apply these at home using your iron or with a heat press. If you want your projects to be longer lasting or you're going to sell them, I definitely recommend investing in a heat press. So that being said, we have 4 main types of HTV at Happy Fabric, and I'm wearing all of them today for you. So you've got Happy Flock, which has got like a flocked raised finish to it. You've got Happy Glitter, which in the name has got a crushed glitter kind of effect, really sparkly and beautiful. And then you've got Happy Fashion. So this is a special effects vinyl, and I'm going to show you a piece of it in just a minute. And you've also got Happy Flex, which sits smooth to the fabric. So the 3 costumes we'll be looking at today are a Teletubby, super simple, a ghost, and we're also going to be looking at a Spider-Woman or Spider-Man t-shirt. As I say, you won't need a cutting machine for any of these. You can do them all in under 5 minutes. So one thing I will point out as well is one of our best-selling vinyls for Halloween is HappyGlow, and this is a very special vinyl that glows in the dark. So it cuts and weaves like normal HTV. You can cut it with scissors or with a cutting machine like a Silhouette or a Cricut, and pop it on a t-shirt, a bag or decorations, and it will go luminous green in the dark. So that's a very special vinyl to look out for on our website, and you could use this for the costumes we're talking about today as well. So for the very first costume, it is literally no effort at all. You can make this in 10 seconds. So as I'm sure you'll recognise the Teletubbies from children's TV, what I've done for this costume, just to add extra something, is I've made a pipe cleaner headband as well. So I won't be talking about that too much in the video, but I think it just sets it off. So all you'll need for this costume is, as I said earlier, the Happy Fashion. So this is the colour called Spectrum. As you can see, it is rainbow, shimmery, mirror-like HTV, and it is so cool and so effective. You won't even need scissors for this one. All you'd need to do is just pop it onto a coloured t-shirt, and there you have your Teletubby tummy. So that is the very simplest Halloween costume idea ever, and it's so effective because you can tell what it's meant to be straight away. You just need 4 different coloured tops to match your Teletubbies and a sheet each of this. You could even cut it in half for little ones as well. This is an A4 sheet, but I mean, it covers me quite nicely. So I imagine if it's for children's costumes, you could probably even get 4 out of just 2 sheets. So really cool costume idea. And how you apply it is you iron or heat press your t-shirt first, just to get rid of the moisture or any creases in the fabric. And then you pop this on a sheet of grease-proof paper over the top, and then either iron or heat press for 10 seconds at 150 degrees. So 10 seconds for a Teletubby costume, not bad at all. So as I said, that is the very easiest. All these costumes are easy, but this required no cutting, no thought, and super, super effective. So that was our first costume. Our second, this is where you need to get the scissors out, and this is our Happy Fabric ghost costume. It's an absolute classic, the sheet ghost, but you don't have to muck around with whiteboard markers that will get ink everywhere or paint or anything like that. All you need is one sheet of, we've used here, this is our Happy Flex vinyl that sits smooth to the fabric. So all we did was we cut out eyes and a mouth. You can use a cutting machine for this if you want the perfect circle, or you could even draw around a can of Diet Coke or something like that to get your circles. You can draw onto the back of the vinyl and then cut it with scissors. And then exactly the same as the Happy Fashion, the Happy Flex can be applied with your iron onto a t-shirt. Just pop some greaseproof paper over the top and press and hold down for 10 seconds. And then you'll peel off this carrier sheet from the top and voila, it's done. You can even keep the sheets afterwards and pop them on the spare bedroom bed for a Halloween surprise for your guests, because it will be able to go through the wash. There is no mess, no stains, and it will stay there forever and ever. So that's our ghost costume. Also simple, really easy to do. Like I said, you can also use a round object as a stencil to get those perfect eye shapes, and then cut out your mouth as big and dramatic as you want it to be. Just don't forget to poke some holes in so that you can actually see. I think this is a really cool idea as well for a really aesthetic kind of photo shoot. I've seen a lot of people do those in the woods with like pumpkins on their heads and things, but this is way better and you probably won't end up smelling like pumpkin either. So that's a bonus. So that is our second costume, which is, again, super easy, under 5 minutes, ghost costume. And now for the most exciting part, I think. It's a really, really cool trick. And I don't know if anybody else knew you could do this with HTV, but this is something that I've been testing out this week. I thought it was a super fun idea. And that is cutting out, by hand, some spider webs. So last year I used Happy Flex Stretch, which is a stretchy HTV, because I had a stretchy set, which was a top and a skirt that moved a lot. So I used Happy Flex Stretch, which is HTV made especially for sportswear, items like that, so that it moves with the fabric completely. As you can see, it's held up really well all year round, and it really does stretch. So inspired by this spiderweb costume, which did take me more than 5 minutes, I cut it out actually by hand, and then I used a craft knife to get the really small parts. And it's a really cool matching set. So inspired by this spiderweb outfit, I have then created this lovely outfit as well, which literally took me 5 minutes, and I still can't believe this trick works and how easy it is. So what you're going to want to do is start with Happy Glitter. I definitely recommend Happy Glitter or Happy Flock for this trick, and I will tell you why. So on every sheet of HTV, you've got a sort of plastic shiny carrier sheet on top, and with Happy Glitter and Happy Flock, they're kind of thick enough that they are kind of easy to work with without the carrier as well. So you want to start by peeling off the carrier sheet. So we don't need this at all anymore. And then you're left with just your sheet of Happy Glitter. I really like Happy Glitter for this. I think it's really effective, and it's what I've used so far. So what you want to do to start off with your spider web, you can also make really large spider webs like I did on the other costume by ordering your vinyl by the meter from us instead of A4. But we're going to work with A4 today, and we're going to cut it into a square. This is where I remember that I wanted a ruler to do this with so that I get the square a bit more accurate, but it's fine. We'll work with it. So we want to start by folding this in half. I can see there that it's not kind of a perfect square, so I'll just do a little bit of trimming. Yeah, so what we want to do to start off with is have our square of vinyl without the carrier sheet, and then we're going to make it, we're going to fold it in half diagonally so that you end up with this, and then we're going to do it again. So another fold diagonally, so the triangle's getting a bit smaller. And then, surprise, surprise, we're going to do it one more time. So that's 3 folds in total, all diagonal. And then what you want to do is where you've just folded it, so kind of the seam, going to hold it here, pinch it here. So these are the flappy bits up the top. And then you just want to cut this so that it kind of makes the bottom completely straight, like this. So now we're left with kind of a cone shape here. So now that we've got this, what we want to do is we want to create the top of our spider web. So this is quite similar to making snowflakes out of paper. So for example, here is my test one out of paper. So to create these outside bits here, we want to cut kind of like a spiky M out of the top here. So see how well I can do this while holding it in the air. Okay, here we go. So what I've learned from practicing this a few times is that I think it looks a lot better when it's quite spiky. So I'm going to try and make sure my points are very spiky and kind of long. So then you'll end up with something that looks like this. And then what we want to do is we want to create the kind of cutouts for the web. So you're going to want to cut some U shapes on each side, but keep a thin strip down the middle. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go into the middle. See, I say this takes under 5 minutes, but I think it just really depends on how eagerly you're cutting out and how careful. Because what you can do as well is you can always open it up at the end, and if you're not happy with the shape, you can go in and kind of correct it, which is what I did on my first attempt, because like I said, I realised it needed to be a bit spikier. So getting there, we're getting there. This really does remind me of Christmas because I'm using glitter and it's quite similar to making snowflakes out of paper, you know, snowflakes decorations. Because this wouldn't just be good for a costume as well. This also would be really cute for like bunting or something like that, like loads of glittery spider webs, I think would be incredible. And it's not to say as well that you couldn't do this with other vinyls like the glow in the dark. You could always try it. I just think it's a lot easier to cut these without the carrier sheet, especially when you're folding them as well. I think glitter's a really good choice because it doesn't really show the fold lines. And I'll give you a better look at the t-shirt that I created as well, so that you can see how it looks once it's all kind of pressed on to a t-shirt. I'm still going. So this is what we're looking like so far. Like a kind of angry looking beetle sort of shape. Then we're going to keep going in. I said I'll probably be tempted to tidy this up afterwards once I can see what it looks like unfolded. We're getting there though, we're definitely getting there. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to keep hold of the bits that I haven't used, so the bits that I've cut out, but also what I trimmed to make it a square, because those will be really good for Christmas projects and things like that. Because now that it's got no carrier sheet on it, you can put it really easily into a craft punch. So you can get some lovely star ones from places like Hobbycraft or craft shops. And I think that's going to be really cool. So definitely keep hold of what you don't use. So let's unfold and see what we've got so far. Oh, I think it's going to be a good one. Just be really careful when you're unfolding in case the glitter kind of... Oh, it's coming. Ooh, there we go. There is our glittery spider web. I actually like it even more than my first attempt. I think I'm getting really good at this. But you can sort of see what I mean by if you wanted to go in and make some of these holes bigger, more dramatic and spider webby, then definitely do that. this is the right time. You can refold it and make the cuts deeper, or you can just kind of do it now. I went in with a craft knife as well to edit mine the other day. So that is how to make a really easy hand cut spider's web. So if you don't have a cutting machine, or maybe you want to make things quickly, or you just kind of want to do it by hand because it's quite therapeutic, kind of the same way again as making snowflakes for Christmas. It's quite a nice activity to do, and it's really easy after this. All you have to do, again, pop some greaseproof paper on and you can apply it using an iron or a heat press in just 10 seconds. So a really easy hand-cut Halloween costume. And what I've done with this one here is I've actually cut. So I started with this, as you can see. They're about the same size as well. So I started with this and then I just cut it to sit around the neck. And then I had the little bit that was that side left over and I popped it in the corner. So already, I think that's quite a cool Halloween make. And I do love a good cropped t-shirt, as you could see in my other spider web costume. So you could always crop it as well and have kind of two webs at the side, and that would fill up a lot more of the t-shirt. But again, you could also get your vinyl by the meter and make an even bigger one. So there's loads you could do with that. I just think it's a really cool trick to share for a quick last minute Halloween costume, especially if you're like me and you love glitter, because it really is so effective. I'm so happy with how it turns out. So there we have my spider's web. And we've also talked through, just a recap, so we have the Happy Fabric Ghost, which we used Happy Flex for. I think it'd actually be really cool as well if you use the HappyGlow. So that's the glow in the dark vinyl. And I think it's a bit too light here to show you, but it does go a luminous green. It really glows. You can find on our YouTube as well, under our shorts or on our reels on Instagram as well, or even on our website, some examples of what it looks like when day kind of turns to night and the lights go off, because it is really, really cool. As I said, it's one of our most popular HTVs at this time of year, I assume, because everybody's making their Halloween goodies. So really cool. And then we've got our last but not least, our Teletubby costume with the pipe cleaner headband. All you need for that one is just one sheet of Happy Fashion Spectrum. And again, if you're making smaller costumes, maybe for children, you wouldn't even need, you could literally cut it in half and they've still got a really good Teletubby screen. So those are my 3 under 5 minute, super easy Halloween costumes. Anybody can do these. Like I said, you don't need a cutting machine for them. I think with things like the spider web as well, should you want to cut them out with your cutting machine, you absolutely can. If you want something bigger, more intricate, maybe if you wanted some text, things like that, there's so many options of what you can do for Halloween costumes. Once you know how to use HTV, which is super easy, like I said, you can apply using your iron or a heat press if you've got one. Definitely, if you're thinking of starting a small business or selling what you make, 100% recommend investing in a heat press just to get longer lasting, like what I'm wearing today. I made this t-shirt, oh goodness, about a year ago maybe, and it's still going strong no matter how many times I wear it, and that's all the different types of vinyl as well. So I hope that gave you some really good inspiration on what to make for Halloween this year or even next year. Some really cool tricks that you can kind of pull out of the closet when you need them. Good last minute ideas for a last minute party, or if your children have a fancy dress day at school. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Make sure that you subscribe to our channels or follow our Facebook page so you see all of our future events as well, because we are definitely here to help with all things craft and heat printing. So thank you again for joining us, and I will see you next week where we've got a really exciting live. So as I said, these are our 4 main types of heat transfer vinyl, but we are launching something completely new next week. You're going to absolutely love this, especially if you like fabrics and you're into sewing. This is a super special, new, brand new HTV, not even a new color. This is a whole new HTV range, and you're going to love it. So definitely keep an eye out for the event on Facebook and YouTube. Do not miss it. There'll be some offers launching as well. So we will see you next week at 12:30, and I look forward to seeing you there. See you later.